everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a bit different. Today I'm going to be telling my cancer story, I guess you could call it. I'm going to be telling my whole experience and what happened and everything about it. Sort of want to tell the whole story and just share my experiences. I'm also sitting on my bed, just in case you can tell, so it was a bit more personal, you know. If you're interested in seeing this video and learning some more about me, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off with some background information about my life before I was diagnosed with cancer. I was diagnosed in December of 2015, but I'll get more into that. But before that, obviously, it had been the rest of the year, and the summer of 2015 was really good. I went on holiday to Mexico and I just had a really good summer. I just finished year 9, so after the summer was over I would have been going into year 10. September came around, so I started year 10 with doing 2 hours of dance on a Tuesday, an hour or 45 minutes, I can't remember, on a Thursday, and then I was doing an extra hour and a half on a Friday, which I'd never done before. I also started doing GCSE PE. What I'm trying to say is I was doing more exercise at the start of year 10 than I had been in the summer and during year 9. Because I was doing more exercise, I had a pain in my leg and I thought, oh, I've just pulled a muscle, or legs just been strained, or I don't know. I didn't think too much into it. I just thought it was a sports injury because it didn't hurt that much. It just ached a bit, and yeah. Around the start of October I went to see my GP. They just said to have paracetamol or ibuprofen or something. It started to hurt quite a lot more, so I went back and they prescribed me some codeine. Then I couldn't really sleep at night because of the pain in my leg. I would be lying down about to go to sleep and then I'd get a really sharp, horrible pain in my leg. Then I'd have to get up and walk around, then I could lie back down, but then after about 15 minutes it started to hurt again, so I'd have to get up, walk around and then lie back down. I'd just be falling asleep and then I'd have to get up, so I found it quite hard to sleep for quite a long time. Thinking about it now, that's not right. But at the time, I didn't think anything of it. The doctor said they would do an x-ray. Went at the start of November after the half term. The x-ray, I don't even know what the doctor said. I really can't remember. Nothing either came up on the x-ray or it didn't seem to concern them. I don't really know, but they didn't really say anything was wrong. So the pain had been getting worse through all this time, and I was still doing dance and still doing PE. The extra hour and a half because we were rehearsing for a show at the Saddle as Wells Theatre, doing 2 numbers. One was river dance and the other one was musical theatre, and then there'd be loads of other dance schools that were also doing dances and stuff. When my mum would give me the paracetamol, I'd tell her it's not going to work, it's not that sort of pain. The codeine did help a bit, but it still didn't really take away the pain. I went to the physio and I remember saying to my mum, I do not want to go, they're not going to be able to do anything, it's a waste of my time. And my mum was like, no, we're going, we've made the appointment, she might be able to do something. So I went, and if I hadn't have gone to the physio, I literally don't know what would have happened to me. So the physio felt my left knee. She really wasn't happy with it. She was really concerned and it was really swollen at this point. She phoned my GP and requested for me to have a CT scan and an MRI scan, and at first the GP was like, no, the GP didn't think anything was wrong with it, but the physio really pushed. I went to have the CT scan and the MRI scan. This was in November. CT scan was alright because it was only about 15 minutes, I think. And as I said before, when I was going to sleep, after about 15 minutes of lying still is when I had to get up because I was in a lot of pain. MRI was, I think it was 25 minutes. And when you have an MRI, you have to lie completely still, you can't move. I had to lie completely still for 25 minutes and I was in quite a lot of pain during it and after. And on the 14th of November was when we were doing the show. The night before I was in excruciating pain. Looking back now, I don't know how I did that river dance. Results for my MRI and CT came back on the 23rd-ish of November. I was in chemistry, period 7, at the end of the day, and my leg was hurting a bit. So I texted my mum and said, when am I seeing the physio again? She didn't reply, and my mum's really bad at replying, so I didn't think anything of it. And then I got home, but she just said something I need to tell you something. and we were in the kitchen. My parents had told me that I had a tumour in my leg. Just remember falling to the floor like screaming. I don't know, I was only 14 and like it's just a bit much at 14, I guess. So then I had a biopsy on the 26th of November 2015 to find out if it was cancerous, what type of cancer it was. I also had an MRI before I had the biopsy. As it had been a few weeks since my last MRI scan, the pain had gotten worse. So when I was in the MRI machine, I was like screaming because it was so painful. I was in so much pain. So they had to give me gas and air, which is like what people have when they give birth. The results from the biopsy came back on the 4th of December 2015, but I didn't find out until the 6th of December because the 4th of December was a Friday. I went to my friend's house with loads of other friends and had a sleepover there. The Saturday I was going to a concert with my sister and 2 of our friends, so like they wasn't going to tell me then because that would have just ruined the whole concert. So they told me on the Sunday, which was the 6th of December. I was in my front room and my parents came in. My dad just told me that I had cancer. Told me that I would have to have chemotherapy to get rid of it, and I just completely broke down, started hyperventilating, like I didn't know what to do. And he told me that I had osteosarcoma. On the internet it says it's a rare type of cancer, but I've met so many people who have had osteosarcoma, but I guess that's because like we're all in the same place. And then I went to the hospital maybe on the Tuesday and met my oncologist, and on the 10th of December I had my PICC line put in. Basically looks like this. This tube goes all the way inside of you and like up one of your like veins, and then it stops just above your heart, and then these 2 tube things get attached to chemo. You can take blood from here, and yeah, it's just easier than having to have a cannula put in. I also used to have quite long hair, so I had it cut about to here. I donated my hair to the Little Princess Trust, which is a really amazing charity. If you have really long hair and you want to have it cut short, then definitely donate it because it's just such a waste otherwise. Then I started my chemo on the 15th of December. I was having 3 different types of chemo. One's called methotrexate, one's called doxorubicin, and the other one's called cisplatin. On week 1 I had the doxorubicin and the cisplatin. Then I had 2 weeks at home, but when it says like week, it literally is like 5 days in the hospital. And my first week of chemo literally like killed me basically. That sounds so dramatic, but like I had it and I don't think I moved for like the whole 5 days I was in there. I didn't speak. I felt so sick. I was just completely wiped out. And then I had 2 weeks at home. Then week 4 and 5 I had methotrexate, so I went in on the Monday, stayed till Friday, then had the weekend at home. The week after that I had the doxorubicin and the cisplatin again. So I was basically in hospital for 3 weeks straight, going home at the weekend, and having it for 3 weeks in a row is like so draining. Thought of it makes me feel like sick basically. Then I had my surgery. My surgery was to remove my tumour, which was in the bottom of my left femur bone. So yeah, this tumour was like, oh, I can't remember, 12, I think it was like 12 centimetres. Because it was at the bottom of my femur bone, to be safe they had to remove my knee. I have a metal pole going up my femur bone, then I have the knee, and then I have another metal pole going down my shin bone. It was on the 23rd of February 2016. The 25th of February is actually my birthday. I've spent my 15th birthday in hospital. My 15th birthday is the most pain I have ever been in my life. And I had an epidural in my back, like, so it would numb the pain. Epidurals only last for about 2 days, so obviously it had been 2 days since I'd had the operation, and I don't even know why I hadn't been given any other painkillers. It just sort of suddenly stopped working. I was in excruciating pain. I literally had no painkillers, and I'd just had my whole leg cut open and my knee taken out and a new knee put in. I was screaming for like hours. Whoever was handling painkillers had gone home because they were changing overnight. The person who was in charge of it was going to come, but the other one had gone home already, so there was no one there to prescribe really strong painkillers. I think I had like 2 weeks at home after my surgery before I started the chemo again. I still had 18 weeks left of having treatment and stuff. Just continued to feel more sick, more tired and more depressed, to be honest with you. Really hard going on Snapchat or Instagram and seeing all your friends at school, going out, having fun, or like even people you don't know, not even just your friends, just anyone, like seeing that other people actually have a life and you don't anymore. My sickness and just everything as it went on, it just got worse, and eventually on the way to the hospital we would drive and I would just be sick. One time I was sick so much on the way to the hospital because the thought of having to go up to the ward and be in there for another week and feel even more sick and more tired, I just didn't want to go, and I have a phobia of being sick, so the thought of going made me feel sick. Because I have a phobia of being sick, I wouldn't want to be sick, but then I'd get more worked up and more anxious and stuff, so then I would be sick even more. The thought of being sick made me even more sick, and it was just like this cycle, and I was just sick so much. 8th of March I started another treatment called mifemertide, I don't even know how you pronounce it. It's not chemo, it's like an immune boosting therapy, I think that's what you call it, but it like produces cells that are meant to fight cancer cells or something. So that finished in November of 2016, but it didn't make me feel sick or anything, which was good. Finished everything on the 7th of July. I spent the summer of 2016 catching up with year 10 because I'd literally missed the whole year. I went back to school in September and everything was fine. I was just started year 11. And the next place that osteosarcoma spreads is to your lungs. So I had to have scans on my chest every 3 months just to make sure like it hadn't spread anywhere else. I had a scan and the results came back that I had some nodules in my lungs. Obviously that wasn't the best news. They were only like 1 centimetre, so I was just going to have an operation and they'd be removed. So I met my surgeon. He said that usually they take out all the nodules on one side, then you recover, and then 6 weeks later you have them taken out on the other side, and I was like, I don't want to do that, I want to have them all taken out at the same time. He said that they do that sometimes. I had them all taken out at once, which I don't regret at all, but it was really uncomfortable. I had to lie on my back, but I couldn't lie flat. They went in on my back, so I had incisions on my back and I had to lie on them, and it was just really painful, and I had 2 big tubes draining excess blood out of both of my sides. I went to see my surgeon and he told me that he'd removed everything, so basically I got the all clear. That was on the 15th of December, so it was exactly a year after my chemo had started. That's a sign, it's been a year, like everything will be good from this point on. I was having my scans every 3 months and everything was fine. I had a scan on the 22nd of August, just did my GCSEs, which was the most stressful time of my life. Obviously everyone gets stressed, but like I'd missed year 10. Such a good summer. I went to New York, scan on the 22nd of August. The results didn't come back until the 5th of September, the 8th of September of this year. When I would breathe in, I had a really sharp pain in my back. I got quite worried by that. The results from the scan came back and it said I had an enlarged lymph node. Lymph node is what appears when your body's trying to fight off something. But on the 21st of September I had a CAT scan. Results from that came back. I found out that I have a tumour in between both of my lungs behind my heart, and then I had another PICC line, which is this one, put in. Then I started my chemo on the 9th of October. Obviously my hair fell out again, which I'm not really that bothered by, like it's just a bit annoying. From the CT scan in September to the CAT scan like a few weeks later, the tumour had grown. I'm having different chemo now. One drug is called etoposide and the other one is called ifosfamide or something like that. Thankfully it hasn't made me feel sick yet, I've just felt a bit tired. When I first started my chemo, the tumour was 5 centimetres by 4 centimetres. Since I've had my chemo I've had another scan and it's actually got smaller, which is so good. It's now 4 centimetres by 3 centimetres. I've already had 3 cycles of chemo. I have it every day for 5 days, then I have 2 weeks at home. That's 1 cycle. So the most I'll have is 6 cycles. Then I'll have a operation. Then hopefully that will be the end of it. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!